Today we are working on creating and manipulating tables because I've noticed there are a lot of skills with manipulating data tables that are not mastered yet. So we want to work on how to do that so we can master that. And then we're going to take the data from a table that you create and you are going to then turn that into a graph so we can also practice that skill, as both of these things will apply to you finishing your science fair projects. So your assignment will be on Edmodo, Wednesday's Tech, making and manipulating tables in Google Docs. Step 1, watch this video. If you're hearing me now, you're doing a good job. Then you're going to access the virtual lab, which is attached on Discovery Education, and gain the information you need to create your correlating data table. The virtual lab you will be conducting is 1 tomato, 2 tomato. Basically, what growing conditions will produce the heaviest crop of tomatoes. So you can read about your mission, you can explore if you want, and the Explore might help you with creating your data table because you can see all the different variables that will be in your lab, and obviously the variables will need to be within your data table in some way, shape, or form so you can record what's going on. When in this sample lesson, I'm going to show you how to do that though with a different virtual lab, so I'm not giving away exactly what I want you to do. I want you to have to think some. How dare I do such a thing? Okay, so then once you open that, you need to, after you've explored your virtual lab to gain your information you need to open a new Google Doc. So you'll go to your drive and you'll say New Google Doc. Ta-da! As soon as you do that, you're going to title it your name, which, so Mrs. Mick, and then you should title it Tomato Table. Okay, there we go. And once that's in there and you have all the information you need, the next thing you need to do, of course, is share it with me. Yes, again, share it with me. C. McMullen at hclc.info. That would be the person you need to share it with. You can also always use get a shareable link, just so you know. That is a wonderful thing. And mine's anyone at Holy Cross can view this, or you can also just change it to anyone, okay? Anyone with the link is a good way to go with your shareable link. And right now they can only view it. If you want to give a shareable link to me, however, you need to allow me to edit or comment because I need to be able to talk to you through your shareable link. So just so you know, those are the things you would need to do if you'd rather use this shareable link feature, which is a pretty great feature. Okay, so once you've done that, you can send it and ta-da, it's shared with me. And then we're ready to insert our table. Well, I told you I'm using a different lab. It's called Knock the Pin to Win. And my mission here is how can I design a game so that only one ball knocks down my pin. So I want to look at my game and see what all my variables are. And I can see that I can adjust my launch height from high to low. I can adjust my sand trap to yes or no. And I can adjust my pin height from high to low. So those are my variables within here. And then, and my goal, if you remember, was that I want to be able to have only one ball that knocks down the pins. So, and there are going to be 6 different balls that could potentially knock down the pin. And so I need to design a table for that. Well, on Google Drive, then I'm going to insert a table. So you go to insert, table, and all of you know how to do that. And I remembered saying, okay, there were 3 variables, but I also know that only one ball is supposed to be able to knock it down. So I'm going to need to know how many balls knocked it down. Plus I need a row for the trials. So I need 5 columns, okay? I don't know how many trials I'm going to need, so I'm just going to make a lot because I can always add more. Then in my table, it's always really important to title your table. And so you can do a great thing by highlighting all of these boxes. And then if you are on your PCs, you can just right click on it or control click it. On your Mac, you need to press control click, and this gives you the opportunity to then merge your cells. Look at all the opportunities that are here though. Insert row above, insert row below, insert columns left, insert columns right, delete row, delete table, merge cells. So there's lots of options. I want to merge my cells, and now I have a title row that I can use to title my table. And so I can just title it Knock the Pins to Win Data. And sometimes your title row has more, needs to contain more valuable information. And if you feel that is necessary, you can do that. And then over here, I'm going to want to press Command B to bold it, and I'll say trial number. And then I will come back and check out what my variables were again. Launch, sand trap, and pin. Okay, so I'll go back and do that. Launch, sand trap, and pin. And then the last thing was number of balls to knock pin down. To knock down pin. Let's be proper with grammar. Okay. All of these are subtitles, so I'm going to highlight them and then press Command B because I forgot to bold them in the first place. And I'm going to go ahead and just change that here. Now, there is one problem with this demonstration because there aren't really variables here. Units here that I could put in parentheses, but it would be helpful to know like what my answers could be. So for example, with launch, that doesn't really mean anything unless you're looking at the lab, and so you might want to put in parentheses high or low is what you're looking for in your answer. And then sand trap, no or yes, and then pin, high or low. So we'll come here and we'll put those things in parentheses so that we know what we're doing. What we're supposed to be marking in our data table. And then pin, high or low, sand trap, yes or no. In our trial numbers then, we can just say 1, 2, 3. You will likely have to have many more than that. You might not have time for many more than that though, because what matters to me today is that you create your data table, and after you've created your data table, that you turn things in properly. So once you have your data table and you've filled out as much data that you could gather today, it is time to turn things in. The way that you can turn it in properly is, A, if you have shared it with me, great, but you have still not turned it in. So you need to come up here and you need to click on your URL until you see it's highlighted in blue. And then if you are on a Mac, you would press Command C. If you or on a PC, you can right click and copy it, or control and click, and that's when you can click on copy. Okay, you've copied your URL that way. Another way you can get the URL address or the shareable link, oh, do you remember that? Is you can go into share again, and here's your shareable link. And again, remember, make sure that it has to be available to anyone with the link. And they can comment on it if they need to, and you can command copy that link. So those are 2 ways. Then you have to go to Edmodo and click on Turn In. Then once you click on Turn In, click on this chain link looking thing, and that is where you will press Command V or right click, paste your shareable link to me, so that way I can see your Google Doc. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I should see completed data tables turned in by the end of your tech period today. Thank you very much.